This video is brought to you by Jacob Jones Money, my other channel. I upload videos there every day. I don't upload on this channel. So if you want a video from me every single day of the year, go subscribe to Jacob Jones Money. Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals. Alright, so today I'm going to be smoking a cigarette at Hiroshima Castle, which is where I am right now. It was originally created in the late 1600s, but was destroyed in 1945. But they rebuilt it in the 1950s, and that's the building we're looking at in front of us right now. It costs a little bit over 300 yen to get inside, and I did go inside. I walked around the exhibits, which were all very interesting, I will acknowledge. Definitely a worthwhile place to stop by if you have an afternoon to spend at a park and a castle. If you're in Hiroshima, I will acknowledge. But now that I've gone through the castle behind me, I kinda want a little bit of a cigarette, I will admit. I'm just feeling a bit out of it right now. I'm just feeling like I need a smoke, and so as such, I am gonna have one. Well, not right here because there's no smoking area right here. There is one though, right over there. So before I go ahead and walk over there, I'm just going to go ahead and pan up to the castle, give you guys a good look at it. Just walk over here just a bit just to try to get some good lighting. It is a very nice looking castle, and even though it was built in the 1950s, it does have that traditional look and feel. I will acknowledge, though, you can definitely tell when you walk inside that it was built in the late 1950s, early 1960s. I can't remember if the 1950s is when construction started or when it ended. I can't remember exactly though, but it was somewhere around in that time frame. But I've been at this park for a couple hours now. I had a cigarette next to the castle when I walked up to see if I wanted to go inside, to see if I wanted to pay the entrance fee, and I did decide to have a look through the castle after having a smoke to help me decide. But yeah, overall, this is a very nice park, I will acknowledge. No complaints on my behalf. Lots of cool history here and lots of paths and places to sit down, eat lunch, and chill. And while there are not a lot of smoking areas here by any means, there is at least one. I've only found one, at least. There might be more than one, but I've only found one. But that's where we're going to right now. It's right over there on that hill. So let's see if I can get over there. But yeah, I didn't know a lot of the history about Hiroshima Castle. I figured it was a castle. I didn't know that it had been used as a military complex during World War II. I didn't know any of that sort of information, I will acknowledge, and coming here was very educational without a doubt. So I'm really honestly very glad that I did decide to come here today. No complaints on my behalf. It's a bit warm, but it's currently 6:02, so thankfully it's getting a little bit cooler. Not much, but a little bit cooler nonetheless. But we've just got to walk over this way, take a right, and there is where we want to go, just right up there. And here's another view of the castle as well. Looks, I'd have to say, even better from this angle, which makes sense because this is indeed the front of the castle. And here's a sign with some information if you guys want to pause the video and read it. This is all the information about the hours and stuff like that. But we're not interested in any of that right now. We're interested in having a smoke right over here. Now this smoking area, you know, I'm gonna give it a solid 2.2 out of 4. It exists, it's here, but there's no signs letting you know that this is a smoking area. There's no signs on any of the maps in this park letting you know that this is a smoking area. There's just an ashtray in the middle of a dirt area right here. There's an ashtray, it works, but there's no amenities, there's no vending machines, there's no trash cans, and there's no benches. 2.2 out of 4 smoking area in my opinion, but that's good enough for me to have a smoke. As long as there's a smoking area, I will smoke there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get my pack of Camel Craft 14s all opened up, and let's go ahead and grab my Bic lighter out of my pocket. My Bic lighter I was using up until earlier today. Bit the bucket, or bit the bullet, bit the it died. So I had to switch to a little bit of a Bic Mini that I brought with me as a spare, but no issue at all. Glad I brought a spare. That's exactly why I bought a spare. That's exactly, I'm getting more jaw jumbled up. I think I need this cigarette a little bit more than I realized. Without further ado, let's get to smoking. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I should put down my camera though. And there we go, y'all. I am now accomplishing the goal of this video. I am smoking a cigarette at Hiroshima Castle, which we can't really see very well right now because there's kind of some trees in the way, but that ain't no biggie. We can just kind of go like that, and I was thinking that would be a better view, but not really, but still good enough for me. No complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But yeah, pretty neat park without a doubt. Glad I stopped by. Entry to the park is free. It is, what I say, wheelchair accessible. The castle, I would have to say, is not wheelchair accessible. It's stairs going up, and I did not see an elevator inside. I might be wrong, but I do not believe the castle is wheelchair accessible really in any way, shape, or form. The park is, I would have to say, moderately wheelchair accessible. There's some stairs, there's some areas you're not going to be able to go to, but there's also some flat paths. You can bring your bike in here, so they've got some ramps, I do suppose. So the park itself, you can get to, but the castle itself, I don't think it's really going to work. But they're keeping the tradition going. After all, OG real Japanese castles built in like the 1600s and prior and slightly after. After all, none of those were wheelchair accessible. So why make a reconstruction of one wheelchair accessible either? That's what I'm saying. There's also the 1950s, so I don't think that was really a priority. But I'm on my, I think, 4th day in Hiroshima so far. I'm here for a week total, and I'm having a good time. It's a beautiful city, lots of history, without a doubt. And glad I made the stop. Next time I come here, though, I think it will have to be winter because it's really warm here. And, like, in Tokyo, there's, like, a breeze a lot of times. But here, the breeze is super inconsistent, so it feels even hotter than it actually is. Which is not it, I will acknowledge. But nonetheless, beautiful city that I'm glad I stopped by. I'm gonna go and grab myself a little bit of a screenshot for the video real quick. Or at least I tried to, because getting the castle in the background at this angle isn't really super possible. I think after I have this cigarette, I'm going to wander around the castle park a little bit more, and then after that, I think I'm going to run by a tobacconist, and then probably head back to the Airbnb, because honestly, I am needing a cold shower. I am way too warm right now. The good thing is around here is that it gets down to like high 70s at night, but it's like mid 90s during the day. But it could be worse. But I'm all done with my cigarette. I think I'm just gonna wander up to the castle real quick. And now, I think, it's time for me to continue wandering around just a little bit. I am very glad that I had that cigarette, I will acknowledge. I'm feeling much better now. And now I'm feeling like I need some water, so I might stop at a bench and get myself some water, honestly. But I kind of just want to walk around for a minute before I end the video, show you guys a little bit of the castle park. So I think I'm going to do exactly that, in all honesty. That's where I came from originally, and there is a nice bench. So I think I'm going to sit down and have some water there real quick. Oh, there's some other benches over here. Which one do I want? Oh, stone bench, wooden bench. Wooden bench is kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. Splinters ain't it. Splinters ain't it. So I'm going to sit down on the rock bench. And, oh man, I need some water. Whew. I'm going to go and get out my 7-Eleven water, put down my camera real quick, and I'm going to have myself a sip. And that was all there was to my water. Got some Pocari Sweat with me as well. I'm going to have that because I still need some more. Did that scratch my lens? I hope so. It appears that my lens is fine, I think. Is my lens okay looking on the camera? I'm not seeing anything that looks wrong with the lens. I think it's alright. I might have done a little bit of dent. Nah, that was just some dust. Okay, thankfully my lens did not scratch. That would have sucked so much, because I don't want to buy another lens. It's as simple as that, man. I needed some hydration, and I'm feeling so much better now. Although I'm still feeling. I'm getting my words all jumbled up. I am tired. I'm still feeling a little bit hot and sticky though, due to the humidity, I will acknowledge. I'm thinking now it's time for me to keep walking just a little bit more so than not. Gotta keep walking. And make sure I'm not forgetting anything real quick. Don't see anything on the bench. Nope, I think I'm all good. Nothing on that side. No, I'm all good. I gotta double check. I don't wanna lose my sunglasses, which I have on the back of my head, so we are all good. I have my sunglasses. Not forgetting anything. Alright, let's keep going. No complaints on my behalf. Now, the castle is not the only thing that got reconstructed after 1945. There's also like some walls and stuff like that, and a whole like shogunate like armory and defense area. I don't really know how to describe it very well. I'm not an expert on this subject, I will acknowledge, but that was pretty cool. I walked through there a little bit earlier before walking through the castle itself, and that was pretty cool to go see, so I'm glad I did that. And looks like there's some brick buildings. I'm pretty sure that one over there is not from the 1600s, if I had to guess. Apparently this whole area pretty much got revamped in the 1900s, prior to 1945, as sort of a complex with more modern buildings and stuff like that. A lot of the really old buildings were destroyed by the military, and then they built newer buildings on top. So I figure that's probably what a lot of this is, but I don't know for sure, and I don't see any signs describing that for the moment. But where do I want to walk to? Where is my end goal? Well, there was a little bit of a pond / fountain thing that I saw while I was walking in. I think I've seen most everything in this park that I know of, at least. And so I think I'm going to walk back over there, as that's the one thing I want to take a look at, but haven't looked at so far. The park closes I think it closed at 6:30, so it closed in 15 minutes, so I'm going to go wander over there and then wander out. I think that's my plan, y'all. And I gotta admit, some really cool looking trees as well. I love walking through parks in Japan and just seeing the meticulously cared for trees. Honestly, love it. Meticulously cared for trees goated. But also just trees goated in general because, like, oxygen. And I like my oxygen because without oxygen, you can't light up a fire, which means you can't light up a cigarette, which means you can't smoke a cigarette without oxygen. So, trees goated for real. The pond I want to go to is right there. I think I can just walk through this way. This looks like it's treaded down a little bit, so we're going to walk over here and go check out this little bit of a pond. Looks like there's some fishing nets over there. Maybe there's some fish in the... Oh, I think that's a fish fin over there. That is totally a fish fin over... What is that? That is totally... That is like a massive koi fish. Its fin is just straight up sticking out of the water. That's how big it is. Hey, yo. Yo, what the... That thing is huge. Holy crap. Look at that thing. That's my hand for comparison. That's a pack of cigarettes for comparison. That thing is massive. Holy crap. Wow. Well, there's more than one of them. So I guess the pond is big enough for multiple... Oh, there's a... Is this another... It's another one right there. These dudes just chilling for real. Dang. These dudes big. Dude is big. Dang. That dude huge, yo. Glad I went and checked out this pond. Absolutely worthwhile. Seeing koi fish, pretty cool. There's like a lot of them in here. There's that one, there's another one over there. Don't know if you guys can really see it on camera, but there's a lot of these. I wonder how deep this pond is. It can't be that deep because they're all at the surface. Another one right there. A lot of water bugs on top. Oh man, that one's really pretty. He's huge. Look at him, he's coming to the surface. Yo, huge, bruh. Bro is massive. There's like 3 of them right there. Holy crap. Wow. These guys are big. These are some big koi fish. Wow. I'm glad I came over to this little pond, not really fountain area. It's pretty nice area in my opinion. I quite like this area right here. Koi fish, pretty cool. Little ponds, pretty cool. And trees in the middle with the island in the middle. I like the setup, I will acknowledge. No complaints on my behalf. But I think that's all I wanted to say for today's video. I accomplished my goal. I smoked a cigarette at Hiroshima Castle, and then I walked around just a little bit. I had a good time. If you guys come to Hiroshima, I definitely have to say the castle and Castle Park are a worthwhile place to spend a couple hours in the morning or afternoon. And while the castle itself is certainly not an OG actual 1600s castle by any means, it is still interesting to walk through, and I'd have to say worth the like 350, 360 yen entrance fee. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, like, subscribe, check out my Instagram, my book, my merch, my everything, all in the description down below. Appreciate y'all watching. Until the next one, stay safe in peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?